And we should be live to all the big, beautiful people. Hello, everybody.
Transition.
Oh, we did it. We actually had a clean transition with music and everything. What's happening? Actual functioning podcast. All right, cool. There goes the music. It's gone. All right. Even though on the screen
I love
it hasn't
how
swapped yet. Yeah,
Frank is still just a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I see Frank. He's right there.
Wait.
All right.
No. This is me right now. Resident Evil 4 is just my life.
Yeah. He's Leon S. Kennedy. He's got to go save.
I'm so glad that I'm out of the trap of Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, it's gonna be me tonight. One more night of Resident Evil, and I think we're basically done.
All right. As we're podcasting, it looks like Frank's gonna try an S rank this fucking game.
No, I just have to complete the game without talking to the merchant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All
This
right.
time it's just gonna be
use a unlimited rocket launcher.
Oh
and
yeah.
Let's go to town.
I bought it last playthrough for this playthrough, so we should be good.
All right, cool.
I mean, normally I'd give you shit, but right now I have no grounds to stand on, so.
Given the 3 different games you probably got playing on in the background, so
2 games going on right now.
One currently
games
that I'm
going on
following.
All right.
I fucking 7:30. I'll hop over to the other one, but
All right, sounds good. I got my drink.
Yeah. Islanders and Hurricane are playing right now. I don't know what the score is over there though. All I know is it was
over
1-0.
here.
No, Islanders Hurricanes.
Over there. Oh,
Okay, y'all.
my app
split the
says
games.
1-0 still.
Split the games amongst you talk.
Good. It's good.
We got the current game that I'm following, and then we got the Kraken game later tonight, and then we also have the Lakers game on tonight. So
Jesus
it's a busy
Christ.
night.
All right, well then let's get the show on the road. We're gonna go ahead and get started right about now. I'm pretty sure I have the doc pretty much how we want it, so should be a pretty easy episode 70. Sorry, of course, Fee is not here, but I'll bring that up while we go live on the show. Okay, here we go. And welcome to the Point and Progress podcast, episode 70. We made it to 70, y'all. We are your
70.
resident podcast talking about all things evil. And I'm talking Evil Dead Rise, more Resident Evil, and sports. Let's let that podcast progress begin.
Evil Dead Sports.
Evil Dead Sports.
Resident
Somebody does get their head soccer balled in Evil Dead, so we will talk about that.
Jesus Christ.
There we go. Let's go ahead and let the progress
intrigued.
begin.
I'm very intrigued to see what you guys thought about that movie because it's not a normal Evil Dead movie.
It isn't. We'll
Yes
talk
and
about
no.
that.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
We'll talk
But it
about
is in
that.
a lot of ways.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll bring up what we have to bring out during the main show of all the main things we'll be talking about. But first, I want to get around the table here. I want to say hello to everybody. I want to talk to you, Sly. Sly, I actually been talking to you a lot lately. I think I've done an episode.
I've seen your face way too much this week. No offense.
Thanks, none taken. How are you been? What's going on?
I'm doing all right. It's been a busy week as we're gearing up for me to take a little bit of time off. Of course, getting plenty of recordings in this week to prep for that time. But yeah, I've been watching a lot of things, like an exorbitant amount of content.
Not all good. Not all good.
Not all good. Not
Yeah.
all bad. So, we'll get into it.
Okay. Harv, I feel like I don't see you often anymore. You know, and it hurts my heart. What do you
I
do,
mean,
Harv?
I stream
What are
about
you
3
doing?
or 4 times a week, so I'm there.
Okay.
But
Sorry,
yeah,
hold on.
it's been-
1 second. I'm just watching Frank obliterate the entire time.
This is what you do. This is exactly what you do for this part. Is you just rocket launch everything.
This is the best part, though. Look at the way my Salvador looks right now.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's right. I believe he has was it googly eyes?
Googly eyes, yeah.
Yep.
Jeez.
A little
Yes.
everywhere all the way at once kind of reference there. Before I jump to Frank, Harv, again, go ahead, talk about yourself. So what have you been up to? What's going on?
Just streaming, doing YouTube stuff, and then also trying to keep myself afloat by watching sports at the same time, and then working as well. So there's a lot. It's a lot, but it's good. It's good. My vacation's coming up soon, which I'm very
Okay.
excited about. I'm going to be going to California
Ooh,
for a week.
California. Like fucking the OC. You're gonna go to the OC?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I'm going out there for a week to see a bunch of people, so I'm excited.
Okay. Well, that
I
sounds
love
awesome.
that that's where you went, and in my head I was going, California girls under.
See, I wasn't gonna go into
I went to
military
I-
propagandist
Dr.
Katy Perry. I was going
I went to Dr. Dre, but apparently nobody else did.
California love.
I love
Um,
that we all always have completely different touchstones. For
Hey,
reference.
this is
Yeah.
why we're
There's
a
different
diverse
eras.
podcast, okay? We have diverse voices, we have diverse thought. So, and then of course we have Frank here, who is currently in the middle of his note merchant run. What's going on, Frank? What have
Hey,
you been
how's
up
it
to?
going? Nothing. I've been playing a lot of Resident Evil, seeing a lot of Resident Evil, feeling a lot of Resident Evil,
Okay,
and a little bit of Evil Dead Rise sprinkled in there.
that's right.
That's basically, I've just been kind of chilling. Been
Okay.
feeling pretty good though.
Very
Why does
nice.
Leon have a tail?
I don't want to know, and I don't want to know how it's attached. Don't want to know. Just don't.
That is a
wanna
good
know.
question.
Yeah.
That is a very good question. Capcom, because this is a canon item. Capcom, explain.
I
That's not a
mean,
mod. That's not a mod.
Just a metal piece on the other end of that. No, we don't need to see that. We're good. Not for this show. We're a family-friendly show. All right.
Are we?
No, definitely not. I have not been up to much. I've just been doing a lot of work stuff. I've been doing a lot of health stuff because I'm falling apart slowly, and I'm trying my best to get that going. Obviously, as Sly alluded, we are wrapping up on one of our top shows here, and I'll bring that up in just a second. But yeah, that's basically what my time's been dedicated to. So let's go ahead. let's go ahead and get into the show now. We're gonna go in with our first segment, of course, the checkpoint. A little housekeeping. Right now, Sly is still participating in a Avengers live reading. I think this Sunday, right? Is that correct? That's the last live event?
Yep, the 30th.
The 30th? And then this is, of course, your last event before you go on a little bit of a hiatus. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so I'll be taking at least the first half of May off from all live shows, all podcasts, all social media, etc. So if you don't hear from me, that's why. I'm not dead, I promise. Just taking a little break for the first time since we started planning PIP. I haven't had like a solid chunk of time off that didn't overlap with other shows.
Yes.
So like I've taken off a little bit of time from one show or another show, but never all of them at the same time. So I'm very excited for a break, trying to wrap up some academic stuff and, just take some time to myself. So it'll be nice. Thank you all for giving me the opportunity to take a little bit of a break. And if you want to catch me, obviously, I'll be on some pre-recorded stuff. But yeah, this show, tomorrow's we'll throw the after party, and then the Sunday live reading will be my last live events.
Okay, sounds good.
So it's good to take a little time.
Yeah, no, I mean, I took a time, I think, in March when I wasn't necessarily feeling so well. So it's definitely worth taking that time off and just refreshing yourself and getting back into loving things. Because sometimes when you do it for so long, you start falling out of it. But if you take a break, you actually find things that you can love about it. So, and the one thing I am sad, though, that we'll be wrapping up very soon is actually MC University. We are getting very close to the end. We only have like 3 episodes left. And spoiler alert, 2 of them have already been recorded. So we're going to be releasing them, obviously, throughout the month of May. When we do our last episode, which, of course, is Across the Spider-Verse, we're going to do that possibly after the movie has been released, so that way we can prep for that. So there will be a little bit of a gap, not too much, but at the very least, you'll know when we send that show off. And will we return in the future? Possibly. There's still Marvel stuff happening outside of the MCU, so we can see when we talk about that. I had some ideas the other day, Sly, and I'm like, I'm not going to convince Sly to watch our DC movies with me, so I don't even think we should.
Oh, absolutely.
You would? Oh, God.
Well, oh, yeah. Oh, man.
We'll talk about that in the future. But
we'll talk. We'll talk.
Oh, God, that's
Black
a lot
Adam,
of...
here we come.
To be fair, though, that's a lot of bullshit. So we're about to find out.
Listen, we'll talk about it, but if we can at least do also the DC AU...
Sure.
It'll balance down a little bit, right?
You can find another host for that one. You can do DCAU University, because that's a fucking long list of stuff.
Oh, but they're so good.
They're so good. There's a lot of great ones out there, but we'll have conversations.
Anyway.
In the meantime, the last thing I wanted to bring up is we are still fulfilling or doing some TikToks and stuff like that. I have actually found a way to make TikToks and then put captions on it via the TikTok app, and it works really great. So we're going to start doing that more. So definitely check that out, including the, of course, we got a visit last week from the one only Joe Biden, who graced our presence. As a matter of fact, Fee's, oh, by the way, forgot, Fee ain't here. FEMA killed her. Dead.
Just confirm. Can confirm. We're
dead.
We're recloning her. We're cutting it straight. We're just recloning her.
We're cloning
so the
her.
Next episode she's on, it's gonna be a clone. It's not even the actual real.
It's not going to be the actual Fee. We're going to remove the anime gene out of that as well. So they won't.
we got the DNA from Hera.
just disclaimer,
yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's very Morbius coded of you.
Oh Lord, you are not wrong. So definitely check out those. What I was trying to say was check out the comments on that, Frank. But I think we can just bypass that. That's fine. Go check those out yourself. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to what we have been playing. Right now, it's really just a couple things. We haven't been doing a whole lot, and honestly, it's because there's gonna be a lot of stuff coming out soon, and that's gonna be
It's
very
gonna be.
expensive.
So I was doing a breakdown yesterday on stream and just saying like what's coming out soon, right? What's on the horizon? There's Star Wars that just came out right now.
Yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom comes out in a couple of weeks, right? And then after that, you have Diablo 4 that comes out.
We have too many games coming out, man.
There's 2 more games that Street Fighter 6 comes out that same day.
That same day? Oh my god!
It comes out. Well, if you get the deluxe edition for Diablo, it's 4 days. You get 4 days. Thing. And then after that, there's one more game that's coming out in June, and I forgot. Oh yeah, Final Fantasy 16 comes out in June.
Oh my god!
And then July is the only month that there's nothing really in there right now.
You got to catch up on the
breather.
games.
That's the catch-up month.
Yeah,
because August, Baldur's Gate 3, Armored Core 6. And there's one more thing that's coming out in August, and I forgot what it was now.
But then what's after August?
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2 is going to be
September probably.
And then Starfield will be September as well.
September. Oh my god.
Is this the year of dreams?
It's just the year of dreams. Oh yeah,
this is. We had 1 year where it was like this too, where we just had
several years,
peak after peak after peak in 1 year.
May 2nd is also Redfall. That comes out on May 2nd.
Yeah, I do want to check that out at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
also, there's been lots of indies in my inbox that every time they become available, I cry a little bit. Bramble what came out this week, Mail Time came out this week, bunch of stuff
Benedict
that I've been looking forward to that I cannot afford.
Cassette Beast looks really, really cool.
Yes.
Which is another indie game that's coming out.
Too damn much, man. Too damn much.
It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be.
But the stuff that I listed was all AAA stuff. Like that's like the big games are coming out. So it's crazy. It's crazy.
Hey, if you want indie shit, go to 6-1 Indie. Okay, we're not 6-1 Indie. No, I'm just kidding. But
we love indies here. At least I love indies here.
I love indies too. We had seasons.
I like my fair share of indies.
The Artful Escape was, the video that I did. All right, we're gonna go into it. Obviously, you can tell that Frank's gonna talk about it because he's fucking playing it right now. Harv and Frank, please tell me where you are with your Resident Evil playthroughs. I know that we talked about it a little bit last time we started talking about this. Harv, I'm gonna start with you. Actually, I'm gonna let Frank do his thing.
He's in Dynamite Village right now. This place is fucking horrid.
I hate this fucking place so much. The amount of deaths this place has given me
so
on
much
professional.
Dynamite. There's so much dynamite.
So much dynamite, and dynamite's a one-hit kill on professional.
Never would have guessed.
Yeah, and your body just explodes.
You just explode. You just sit there like, did I just die? Did I just fucking die?
I am finally free of the thrall that Resident Evil 4 has had on me. So I got the platinum trophy. Oh,
okay,
well, 100% achievements in the game since I'm doing it on Steam. I love this game. This game is amazing. It's probably my favorite game of the year so far. Yeah, doing all the challenge runs and stuff like that was a lot of fun. Doing the pistol knife only run was probably like one of the funner ones to do. But yeah, I think this pretty much solidifies that either we're gonna get Resident Evil 5 next for the remake, or please, for the love of God, just go back and make one. Why not just go back and make one? I know it's gonna be 5, but like, why do they just skip one? Like, it's just like,
No, the remake for 1's perfect. It's good.
No,
it's still tank controls and stuff like that. I think I would like them to just redo it, but maybe it's a smaller game, overall.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The tank control thing, it's a common argument. It's like you need those kind of tank controls to kind of preserve the way that game is like shown to you, right? Like the way the backgrounds are, the way it like omits information from you purposefully, right?
But
like,
what about 2?
Yeah, but two is too fluid for that type of narrow corridor like that. Like 2's too open already. Like 1 is a literal mansion. You'll just run right through it like I'm doing right now with those controls.
Well, I was going to say you can do multiple things with this. So, when we got 3, obviously it was Resident Evil 3 and then we had the Resistance like pack-in bullshit. Yeah. Don't do that. Do RE1 and do RE0. Do them both as it was a one piece of media, and then you'll have more content that way for a full $60 game, in my opinion.
That actually might be a better thing to do. Yeah, just bundle those two together.
Yeah,
because if you do it with these controls, it'll be
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll go through it too fast. You'll go through that mansion like butter. But if Marner is right, if you do put Zero in there as well, and like kind of maybe interweave them, then yeah, that would actually work. Because Zero has a lot of like long corridors and stuff like that, which would work well for that.
But the thing is, like, it's up to them to like make it so it feels like it, even if it's short corridors, it's up to them. They're developers. They can probably figure a way out to make it seem like you're low on ammo or something like that, or they could add a couple of things to the game to like make it, flesh it out a little bit more. Because like this game isn't 1-to-1 remake of the previous game. There's obviously changes.
Oh, we're talking about RE remake, or we're talking about like RE2 or 4?
RE2 or RE4, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's definitely some changes to them, but
yeah,
like keeping the core DNA is important for those games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think what would be nice would just be how we're going into the action of this game, and then recycling back to survival horror. And I think that would be a fun way to do it. Just have the reflexive systems.
The question is, for RE5, do you keep the multiplayer?
Oh, 100%.
Kill the
100%. Here's the thing, right? Like, I was looking at this earlier where, like, there's a part where you have to, like, do switches with Ashley, right? That's an RE5 mechanic right there. That's just a little test bed for that. It's so stupid. It's so stupid because it's like, oh, I can tell this is RE5 DNA. Or like with Luis, right? The way he like kind of moves around and helps you, gives you ammo. Even the way the characters say, "Hey, come on, get over here, AI companion."
Yeah, Luis, especially Luis. Yeah.
It just spells like, "Hey, this is a small little test bed for an AI companion on there." And I'm sure we're gonna see a lot more of that too when Assignment Ada eventually drops. And there's going to be parts where you're going to have Lewis as a companion. You know what I mean? There's definitely going to be a part where you have maybe like other characters as companions, right? So it just makes sense to like kind of build those AI mechanics now while you have the budget and the game to do it, and then perfect it in the next one, right?
You got to rotate it, buddy. You got to rotate it. There you
go.
So, but what comes next? I've played this game way too fucking much.
No, I know.
Does RE9 come out before RE5?
Yes. They're already working on RE9. I bet any money.
But we're done with Ethan's story now, though, right?
Yeah. If Capcom is smart and they're paying attention to the fans, which actually they seem to have, like in terms of just like what characters like people want, like Jill is the next step because she hasn't had a game in like.
Well, she had a game 2 years ago. No, she had a game 2 years ago.
Which one?
3.
No, I mean like her actual own like new title. You know what I mean? Like we've had ones with Leon, we had ones with Chris. Claire's had a second title. You know what I mean? We haven't got like Jill in a while, and obviously if you play with RE5, you know why. But I think she kind of deserves her own game at this point, like a brand new one.
Jill is going to be in that animated movie that's going to be coming out.
They're finally all meeting for the first
time. Yeah. This game is awesome. I know, Mario, you're still playing through it right now?
I'm dabbling back into it. I know I finished it. I finished it on the Steam Deck. It's funny watching Frank play it because it just kind of gets me back in the itch of wanting to go through it again, especially now that I've beaten it. And I have all my weapons and stuff like that. It's just a fun mechanical game. The parry system alone, just like having a guy try to run at you, like, no, no way, Jose. I'm smacking you down, and I'm gonna, I'm shooting you in the kneecap. Actually, a funny story. This happened. We were in the office, and I was telling Frank that, like, granted, it's not a pistol that you can do it. You can do it only with a bolt gun. But I was having people shooting them in the leg, and they would spin around, and that would easily just do the backflip, like the suplex on them. And so I would just do it every single time, and that just alone was just like, all right, that's my go-to. Just bolt you in the toes, and then do a suplex on you. So
weirdly enough, how many hours do I have in this game? Let me see.
Oh, I'm scared.
Oh God, no! Open up my library, please.
I'm kind of curious how many.
All right. Well, while you guys discover your hours, but yeah, I'm having a great time on the Steam Deck. I played a little bit of the Mercenaries modes. It's Horde. It's general Horde, but I feel like a badass when I'm doing it. What do I have to do to get this rocket launcher? Do I have to play it like a bunch of times? Is that what I got to do?
I don't remember for the infinite rocket launcher.
Infinite
honestly.
rocket launcher is just once you finish the game once, all you have to do is have 2 million
Fucking A, okay.
money, and then you just start a new game plus.
Got it.
Yeah,
Right.
usually it's easy just to sell your old weapons because they're usually worth like 300k each or up to like 700k. Some certain items.
Just walk around with the rocket launcher.
So I have 64 hours.
What
in Resident Evil 4?
Damn.
Okay.
64. Yeah.
And it helped you with the platinum. Got all the stuff that you needed and all the trophies. So
64 hours. Okay. Never did the back body slam once.
Seriously?
See, that's what I was. See, this is the thing, right? I was telling Mario like every time I've ever seen the suplex used, people are like, "Yeah, it's like some hidden thing," and then Mario's like, "Yeah, I'm doing it all the time." I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, are you shooting people in the leg and then running around them because that's the way you're supposed to do it with a normal pistol?" And I never used the bolt thrower like at all. Like I think that that thing's a hunk of junk.
Oh, that bolt thrower is amazing. Sometimes,
no, man, I'd rather use a Red 9
with the explosives too.
Yeah, with the explosives. Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
but
like I don't know,
like suplex and they die instantly. So I was like,
throughout the playthroughs, I never used it. So I just kind of ran through it with the Red 9 for the most part. But yeah, I was confused. Like, why are you taking that much effort to suplex people? Just shoot them.
And I'm like, nah, dog. I fucking boom, do it immediately, which is great.
Yeah, no. When I saw the video of it, I was like, oh yeah, no, that makes sense. Like, it's a little bit slower for like, obviously, if you're trying to do like speedrun playthroughs, like you wouldn't do that. But like,
of course not.
For a regular playthrough, that suplex does hella damage, bro. Like, what the fuck?
It's really great. So yeah, had my time with it. And then this is Frank. This is your last thing you have to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the last thing. I got to go through the castle and like do some treasures and stuff. But by the time this podcast is over, yes, Harv knows what I'm talking about.
That was the most heartbreaking thing I had because I did the assisted playthrough to get all the treasures because that's the trophy in all 3 areas. You have to get the treasures.
Yeah.
And I got.
Oh shit! Wait, no! I just talked to the merchant. No, hold on.
Well, that's.
No, we could autosave back.
It's just one of those things. It's nature.
I saw
right?
you do that earlier, Frank.
Like I was listening to what you were. I was actually just looking at your screen, and I was on autopilot in my periphery.
Nature, just to go talk to him.
I was literally not even looking at the screen. Hopefully that didn't count. Otherwise, I have to restart that. But it's fine.
Go to your
We're not too far.
We'll figure it out. So
okay, we're good.
So there's treasures in the castle where you need to have Ashley with you.
Oh, yes.
And you have to like vault her up into a hole, and then she
that
opens the door. And at some part in the castle section, you lose Ashley until the island.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wait until the last chapter of the castle to like get all the treasures, get the last treasures. I couldn't do it because you can't get past it. You can't open that door.
Got it.
Harv, let me hit you.
Let me
hit
you.
you.
Sad. I was so sad. I was like, fuck, I gotta play this game again.
Let me hit you with the absolute heart wrench that I had before the podcast here. So before the podcast, I did another playthrough already, right? That was my pistol knife only playthrough without doing any recovery items. So just no healing whatsoever throughout the whole game, knife pistol, right? Easy to do when you got this pistol, this fucking Matilda right here that just like yeets bullets. But yeah, so I'm doing that and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do the castle as I'm only missing the castle treasure. I did everything else but the castle treasure. I'm like, screw it. I'll meticulously go through the castle and make sure I get every single one of them, right? I get to the part where you control Ashley for the night part, and I forget one of the fucking ones with the lock. Because she takes the keys with her. Yeah.
So, because you can't get them because like there's
keys.
There's 3 treasures that only are on the Ashley side.
Yeah.
And you cannot get them with the Leon side because she gets keys and Leon doesn't. I was very meticulous when I came to that part because I was like, I'm not gonna miss these fucking things, and I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get these. But yeah, no, it's so easy to miss those two. So easy to miss those.
Yeah.
Can you chapter select and it will count or no?
No. There's no chapter select in this game. Which
there's no chapter
that's
select.
funny because there's so many chapters in this game.
Yeah. There's 60 chapters.
You breeze through them pretty quickly
man.
though. You can breeze through them in less than 3 hours.
Oh yeah, I mean my one of my playthroughs was an hour and 20 minutes. Like I just fucking flew through it. But like
what?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't kill anything. I just ran past everything. Because at some point you know how everything works in this game.
Yeah.
And you just
I'm just
run
blowing
through
shit up
everything.
for fun.
Yeah.
At this
Okay.
point. Like, I could just run right past most of these things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
All in all, great game.
Yeah.
Guys,
Yeah.
great game.
cool.
I am sitting at a cold, crisp, here, hold on. 128.1 hours in this game.
Damn.
Because here's the thing, right? Most of my like initial playthroughs have been just perfecting it on professional, so I can get that S+ ranking. So like on professional, you have to get through the game on a new game. So this has to be a fresh save, no bonus, like no new game plus weapons, no already upgraded stuff. You have to start fresh.
Yeah.
Beat the game in under 5 hours and 30 minutes, which actually isn't that bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
But you also have to do it on professional, which fucking sucks. So you have to start fresh on professional, which means I had to do a little bit of kind of getting other items within different playthroughs to make it easier, right? So I did a playthrough on where I got an S on professional to get the hand cannon, right? Hand cannon. Then once you play through like on professional, you just use the hand cannon and just level it up throughout the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
The Chicago typewriter also helps out a lot. Especially on professional, because everything's a bullet sponge and nothing likes to stagger no matter how many times you hit it. And they take health pretty damn quick. So getting that, I didn't do it with the chicken hat. I figured it would be faster for me to just do it without the chicken hat, so I just did it without the chicken hat. But yeah, no, most of my time in this game is just perfecting the game and figuring out every single last minute detail in this game, so I could just rush through it as fast as possible, which was actually kind of fun. I've known so many little small details that I don't think anybody's even talked about yet.
The other thing that once I got to my my next playthroughs, like my subsequent playthroughs, I started glitching the game as well, where like I would walk through the wall, I have like a cheat engine.
Shit? Did you do any of the egg things where you like throw an egg and then just like, all right, cool,
Insta kill people.
Insta kill them?
Yeah.
The gold egg.
Yeah, I would do that with yeah.
Such a weird mechanic.
In the castle, there's a thing that you could do with the rifle. You point so with the rifle, if you point down and back into a wall, nothing can attack you. Everything de-aggroes you in this game. So what you can do is in the castle when you first get in, when you see Ramon for the first time, you can glitch through the door by like doing a fast move, and then you can just skip that Galazar, whatever that fucking thing is called. You can skip that entire section.
Got it.
The regenerator, you can once in the freezer, you can just scope down into the ground, and it won't attack you. It'll just stand there, and then you just wait for your key card, and then you just get out. It's just like those little things I just did, so I wanted to get through my run as fast as possible. But I would love, because I've been watching speedruns for this game, and right now the meta for speedrun, like what the main thing is, professional new game. And yeah, right now the world record is an hour and 53 minutes.
Jesus.
Yeah, I will say with my run, I did not do any glitches. That I couldn't get that glitch to work. Like I remember getting like fed up one night and be like, "Fuck it, let's try it." And I tried it. I was like, you know what, screw it. I'll just go through it. It's actually faster for me just to finish the game than it would be learn this shit.
I mean, all you have to the main thing you have to do is put your sensitivity high, and that's really it.
Well, my DPI is already high, so I just couldn't get it to. I couldn't get it to work, so I said, "Fuck it." But yeah, I didn't glitch through any of it. So mine was like 5 hours and 15 minutes. For the whole run.
Yeah, I got to the point where I was just like, I played this game way too much. I just want to get through these parts and just keep going.
That's the thing though, man. Even all these playthroughs, I think this is playthrough 6. It might be playthrough 7. I had to check another save file because I don't know if it links all the playthroughs per different like new games that you make.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I just enjoy every time I play this. It's just the controls are fucking buttery smooth.
They are.
The way the enemies react are so good. And then like just on like harder difficulties, I love how earlier today I realized that assisted and what's the second difficulty called? Standard? Or something like that?
The one that mostly everybody will play on.
Yeah, no, they're totally different than hardcore and professional.
So hardcore and professional, when you're about to go to the island, there are 2 knights there.
Yeah.
And on standard and assisted, the knights aren't there.
Yeah, I did
What?
my pistol run through that. Yeah, there's 2 knights there, and I'm over here like cutting cutting the corners, like looking with my guns like sighted down like this, just like, all right, where's this knight at, so he doesn't hit me. And then he wasn't
Oh,
there,
the
and I'm like, what the fuck?
knights.
There's
Got
no
it.
Yeah,
knights,
the knights, yeah.
but the blue flame is still there. So I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I can see what it is. The puzzles are different
Puzzles are
as well.
different too. Yeah,
Yeah, the
puzzles are different.
placements of like where the items are even placed are different. The
Clock,
treasures are ultimately the
clock
same, though.
puzzles. The clock puzzle
Mhm.
is also different
That-
too.
Okay.
So I wanted
good.
to bring that up, dude. That's what really kind of fucked me on that treasure run, because throughout every single professional run or hardcore run, I always knew the time was 7:10 or something like that.
Oh, it's
And
like
then that
11
one is just
something.
like, oh yeah, no, it's 11:05 now, and I'm like, are you fucking like, come on, guys?
The funny thing is for Ashley, like I wanted to blow through it too, but the thing is you can't because you have to go grab the keys first,
Yeah,
and then you can come back and do the other thing.
and then you got to open the waist for Leon to like get the M4, because the M4 counts
Yeah.
as a treasure for some reason.
Yeah,
You know, that thing's a piece of shit, but it is what it is. But yeah, I've enjoyed this game so much. I think my initial kind of reactions to it still kind of stand, that I still feel like in its current state it's incomplete. Like, you know, I love the infinite replayability of it, but like every time I play through it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is obviously a part where Ada is probably gonna step in during like assignment Ada and do some stuff here and stuff like that. And to make it so blatant within the game already just kind of seems kind of lazy. You know what I mean? But it is what it is.
Is that different from the main game, where the original game, where there's
Yeah, so
clearly
like in the
sections where
original
Ada should
game,
be involved?
yeah, in the original game they kind of did. If you remember how GTA did their DLCs, where they kind of interweave them, but kind of more accidentally. Like there was no way they knew those characters were going to be like characters like way down the road, because we're talking like years and years of development, right? But then like they found ways to weave those characters within the main story. Same thing with like Assignment Ada on the PS2, right? Like it was just like kind of scenes where like, hey, we can kind of insert Ada here, and it would make sense, right?
Got it.
Whereas in this one, it's just like, hey, there are scenes here where there's obvious information not given to you, and it's obvious that this is going to be answered during the assignment. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that just kind of doesn't really sit right with me, because I'm like, okay, you're making obvious to players that they're not getting the full story, and then anybody who's go ahead.
No, I was like, do you expect we see that later this year, like E3 time, like Comcast or Comcast, Capcom,
Comcast presents Resident Evil 4 DLC.
Yes.
I don't know, maybe. I feel like if we're gonna do Assignment Ada, we're probably looking like late December, maybe early January, if they are gonna do that.
Really?
I feel like that's also gonna have like costumes and shit like that, right? Like, why isn't Leon's RPD outfit in this game? Like it's one of the classics. It needs to be in there. I would love for Capcom to do what they did with RE2 and do a classic like OG skin. Like, give me OG RE4 GameCube Leon as a skin, and I would totally love that. Same thing for Ashley and everything. If we get to it, I love the original costume so much for certain characters. Like, I don't like Luis's costume. I feel it just looks kind of tight and weird for me, compared to the original character. And then same thing for Ada. I really like her costume too. I really like her OG costume. So for Ada, I put her already in her OG RE2 costume. And then for Luis, if we get to him, I don't know if that mod is selective, because it's kind of getting me annoyed. But
I see you dancing around that merchant, by the way. I keep seeing you dancing
almost
around
did it. I almost did it. I almost danced with the devil right there. No, actually, I'm going the wrong way. See, this is why you don't talk and play video games.
You're doing a great job, by the way. You did a whole boss fight while talking, and I was very impressed.
Yeah, actually, I'm not really paying attention too much.
I mean, to be fair though, it's a one-shot kill with the rocket launcher.
Yeah, you just gotta aim and shoot. Honestly,
yeah, everything is a one-shot kill.
Yeah. Plus, I just kind of at this point, I know where the enemies are coming from. Like I've had to get stuck on certain parts of the game. Like I'd have to run through it over and over again to like pure perfection, like Elden Ring level perfection, where you have to like fight something again, learn its intricacies, and just kind of eventually just it becomes muscle memory.
Sure.
But yeah, that's the unhealthy amount I play these Resident Evil games at. But yeah, no, it's I've just had a lot of fun with it. It's a blast. I can't wait till Assignment Ada eventually drops, because that's going to be like a nice little fresh kind of look into this. I hope it's long. I hope it isn't like a kind of short DLC. The PS2 one was kind of notoriously short. So I mean, I don't expect too much, but it would be really cool if they made it like a kind of a bigger thing than it was before.
Okay. We'll wrap this up in just a second. The one question I want to ask both of you, because I know that we were both Resident Evil Village fans. Did either of you play the DLC for that at all?
No,
If
I
that was
want
the
to though.
Rose's
DLC?
Yeah,
Rose
substantial.
DLC?
Yeah. Okay.
No, I did not.
Because of the third person perspective camera mode, right?
Yeah, they added that, and they added obviously
Yeah.
some actual story content as well. Okay, no, I was just curious because then I wanted to know if that was substantial. It's like, would it be similar to that, where they just added a whole mode? Because imagine if they added first person in this game.
Dude, I can imagine it. Like just the way it worked for RE2.
Yeah.
When I did that like first person run, yeah, it was fun, man. They could totally do it for this. It doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be like 100% like on the ball because it's kind of more of a goofy mode.
Of course.
But we've already seen DLC already with Mercenaries, so hopefully maybe we start seeing like little smaller drops here and there.
I saw the heart sink for Sly right now because like,
I am unwell.
Well, we're about to transition to this right now. So, okay, hold on. Before we completely move on, you know what? Yeah. Hold on. We're almost there. We're almost there, guys. We just got to finish what we're playing.
Yeah.
Harv, tell me about Star Wars. Have you played any of it this week?
So no, I've only put the settings, but this week I want to play it. I'm going to finish it this week, and so I'll have for next week I'll have an actual review for it.
Okay.
And I could give you guys like a thing for it. But I'm excited for this.
Works.
If it works, this is the biggest problem. Now PC apparently all versions are not working well for this game. And
crazy, by the way. It's
insane.
insane.
Crazy to me that this game
it's a choice.
It's nuts to me that I feel like fidelity doesn't take into effect when reviews come out for games.
Uh-huh.
And when how the game runs just doesn't come into like what this should be scored or what they should talk about.
100%.
Like this game is on some people's PCs unplayable.
Yeah, some people can't get past the fucking title menu right now.
Oh, dude, I ran this game just to get my settings. I was getting 10 FPS through that title menu the entire time.
God, that's unforgivable level. And what sucks about it too, man, is like I know for a fact there are people there's no way nobody knew. There's no way nobody knew. There's no way nobody opened that fucking game, just a quick little test to see and didn't see that. And what sucks is like more than likely somebody probably brought it up to upper management like, yo, we need like an extra like maybe week or so, guys. Like it's not gonna run. They're like, no, fuck it. Just throw it out there.
Well, they got an extra 6 weeks for it.
Yeah.
Right. And then I guess upper manager was like, it's gotta come out now.
It's gotta come out. Actually, hold on. I gotta do this for the doggo. Every time actually no, doggo's not here. I guess I killed him too fast.
You killed him too fast.
Oh, yeah, dude, it just sucks. And I was talking to Kevin Diaz earlier about it today on Twitter, where he was mentioning it like, hey, how is it that like, I'm seeing near perfect scores, but like the game's not playable? Like, how's that a thing? And I said something and I was like, you know what, let me double check myself really quick. So I looked at Metacritic and I'm reading these reviews and they're like, yeah, people are probably not going to be able to get the full spectrum of Jedi Fallen Order in this playthrough because like, it's all broken and stuff, but here's a 90. Like near perfect score.
So
like
I have an answer for this a little bit. So I watched the kind of funny breakdown of basically what their review was, and they've all had experiencing with different types of issues, either it being not reaching full 60 frames per second in performance mode on even PlayStation 5, which seems to be the place where it does perform the best. At least you get like about 45.
Which is crazy.
Basically, what it is that they don't get the game finished, right? They get the game early in the same way that they don't get the day one patch. They don't get any of those. And so what they have to do is dictate of like what they feel like this game will be once it is complete. And they can't confirm or deny what it is at day one. Because day one, maybe all the fucking things that are fixed. So they have to base it off of what they believe that score will be at the time of release. Even at that moment, if they felt like if everything was fixed, could they still approve it? Like story-wise, it's probably up there. Gameplay-wise, probably up there too. But then there are some technical issues that are causing this game to not perform as well, and they have to offset that. And so some of them, when they had their conversation, some of them like, it's a 4 out of 5, it's a 3 out of 5. It was very varied. So they definitely had to take that into account when talking about this. And I feel like, everyone has their own their continuum that they can only go off of in a time where the game is not out. And so they also don't really communicate with other people too. So the fact that everyone kind of gave it 8 is just sort of like, serendipitous, but at the same time, it's also kind of shitty. You know, like it's a damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Like I think as people that do reviews and like or critics and stuff like that should know at this point that day one patches don't do shit. At this point, we're always talking about there's a day one patch.
There are games though.
You know how as like sorry, go ahead.
But there are games like God of War that pre-launch probably doesn't run perfectly, but the day one patch does and it does run great. So there are definitely a balance between like it's always usually third-party games. In a lot of ways, it's never like exclusive games.
It's usually third-party because they have so many SKUs they have to deal with, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think one of the things is like I guess the other thing I think that critics should probably know is like depending on how broken it is a day one patch even going to fix these problems?
Exactly. And they don't know that either, and they bring that up too.
See, that's the crazy thing though. Like we kind of know that as like the just kind of general consumer. Like how do they not know that at this point?
I don't know. This game
should be a rotating scale then at that point.
Yes. So like Linus Tech Tips does it like I think kind of the coolest where like he rates it as he gets it. And this is a conversation that's been brought up in the GPU market and the CPU market and everything, right? Like, do we review it how we get it or do we review it how it's going to be when it's fixed? And 9 times out of 10, like the more honest reviewers say, fuck it. We're just going to review it how it is. And if they don't like it, then they shouldn't have given us a product that was broken at launch.
There's a YouTuber named SkillUp. I don't know if you guys know who he is. Yeah. I kind of bring him up every now and then on the channel. And he doesn't do scores. He does like what I recommend, what I not recommend. And he pretty much said, I don't recommend this game at all. Don't buy this game right now. Because it's just not in a good state.
Yeah, and that's the honest way to do it. It's like warn you. The whole point of reviews is for consumers to begin with.
Yeah, and people put so much stock in numbers, and we see it. We've seen it over the years as people who are in the game space with like every outlet having a different scale and outlets going through multiple iterations of what their rating scale is, right? Like people put so much weight on assigning a number value to a play experience. And when we look at a play experience, it's going to A, be different for everyone, and B, going to, everybody's going to have something that is important to them and can't necessarily be represented by, oh, this is a 10 out of 10 game for every single person, right? Some people might be a 10 out of 10 game and some people it might be a 3 out of 10 game, right? It really depends on what you're looking for, and having more like recommendation based, word based, etc. type reviews is going to be less pushback, I think, because people will see just a number if you have it, right?
Yeah.
And so like it really depends on how people are reviewing things and how they're bringing their perspective to whether or not they recommend something.
A lot of that's conducive to, like you're saying, like the number everyone's looking at, but no one's really talking about the individual context of the reviews and what they actually say. They're like, hey, probably they're saying there's issues. This is this game has the potential to be this number, but we want to at least caveat that, like, hey, it has these issues. And it's definitely been brought up.
And you're right, Mario, actually on that. Yeah, because like the reviews that I was citing earlier, like it would say, hey, we're starting off the review saying, hey, this game is flawed. It's broken. It's not working right now. You're not going to get the same experience now than you would later. But also next to like a 90 review score, which is the only reason why I was like, that just seems kind of icky.
Sure. And that's
for sure. It's definitely a give and take, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I'm playing it this week. I am gonna try to go through it and see how it goes. I want to have a review on my channel probably at the end of this week at some point, or end of next week. Sorry, not this week because this week is ended. Yeah. So I'm excited to jump into it.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, then I'm actually gonna wrap up what we've been playing with just the last thing that I've been doing.
You're not gonna let me talk about Marvel Snap.
Oh, I didn't even see that. I'm so sorry because it's on the second page. You still playing? Because I'm still playing too.
I'm still playing. Yeah, I'm in I bought the season pass this time. I don't know. I was just feeling it. There was some cool animal variants. Why not?
Yeah.
I've been playing it. I've been playing it regularly. Still trying to, keep up with all the dailies and stuff. Still having a blast. I don't know if I want to say recently, but they kind of reworked the way the rank system works, which is really interesting. Once you hit the next 0th place or whatever, it jumps you to like the 5.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. I'm really liking it. I don't really care about rank at all. Like that's never been something that I've focused on. And on the old system, I was always sitting around mid 30s, etc. But right now I'm rank 55. So
that's a good rank. That's
you
good
know,
rank
it's rewarding people. It's rewarding people who are playing regularly. So I really enjoy that change in it. And yeah, I don't know. Marble Steps, still fun, still addicted.
Still fun. We're still thinking about doing a tournament, but the logistics of how that visually would look still kind of difficult because there's not a way for us to just bridge the gap of showing it on screen or anyway. So we'll figure that out still. We're still working on that. So that's why you haven't heard it. We brought that up a while ago. We haven't done it yet. It's because of that reason. But we'll figure that out for sure. The last thing I want to talk about is over the last couple of weeks, I've actually revisited The Last of Us Part 2, primarily because the show really put the bug in me to want to see that story again. I haven't played it since the pandemic, which is crazy, since 2020. And the other reason was because my partner, we watched the show together. And so I wanted them to see the continuation of the story before they ever got spoiled, because there are a lot of major spoilers in that. They may or may not honor those spoilers. And so I wanted to sort of get that out of the way. And they loved it. They actually thought it was really great. And I personally grew more attached to the characters as I played it the second time around, because I knew where things were going, but I forgot how the game made me feel about certain things. And I very much, the best part though is I had to talk to them. I was like, hey, are you okay if I just start indiscriminately killing doggos?
They're all gonna die.
There's a lot of dog killing in that game.
There's a lot of dog killing in that game.
It's like they're attacking me first. Okay, I gotta defend myself somehow. Okay.
And then I was like, remember their names. But yeah, that game holds the fuck up. It's still great. It was a weird playing Resident Evil 4 and that at the same time, because their control schemes are very different. Kind of broken in some aspects, but when I got used to it, it's just they did such a great job of updating the mechanics of just the stealth of Last of Us. I don't think people will really consider it more of a stealth game, but yeah,
that's how I play it. Yeah.
That's the only way that I play it.
Yeah,
that's the only way you can really play it on.
The way that you can be in the mid full run and then do the keel over and lay down sort of Metal Gear style is fucking awesome. And I absolutely adored playing through it again, just gameplay wise. I was feeling like a badass. But at the same time, also trying to play the game as if I was performing it, because I wanted to be walk slower in certain parts so you can take in the ambiance and stuff like that. And Last of Us, it's a good ass series. Can we get factions now, please? I really want to play factions.
Multiplayer for Last of Us would be fucking sick.
Oh my god!
This year,
fucking Neil Druckmann, please stop writing Last of Us Part 2, the TV show, and give me the goddamn faction.
I think we're gonna see it at Summer Game Fest. I feel like Summer Game Fest.
We saw it last year at Summer Game Fest. I think.
We're actually. I think we're supposed to, I think he was saying that we're gonna see gameplay for it this year.
I would like to see a release date. So.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Release date might be a little far away. I don't know. Release date might be
How long have they been working on this goddamn thing?
I
know it's supposed to have its own story and everything. It's their next big release. So.
Okay. That's what I was always wondering too. It can't be just a multiplayer game anymore, right?
No, it's more than just that.
Yeah, it's a big. Apparently, the scope of it got really, really big.
Yeah.
So
high chances
cool.
Have a single player
that'd be nice.
To it. Yeah. So. Because if you remember the Last of Us factions last time, there was kind of a story, but it was very vague and very small. It was just text. And for them to flesh it out with characters and people to care about, that'd be interesting. So
somebody shooting fireworks outside, Mario?
Yeah, I think it's the Sox Park, because it's going off right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
it's going off right now, bro. I thought we were getting AC 130 for a second there.
We live right next to the White Sox. and so they're just going off right now. So they probably lost though. You guys can let us know in sports talk when we get there.
The one sport I don't follow.
Oh man. Okay, so that has been what we've been playing. Let's get into what we've been watching. This is a little bit more of a meatier section. I'm gonna let you guys go off. Talk about sports. What's going on? What's going on in the world of sports?
I'm physically unwell. It's fine.
So since we've been watching this, since this game has been going on, so the Boston Bruins are facing the Florida Panthers. When this period started, it was 3-2 for Florida.
And
now it's 5-5.
I started setting up for the show, it was what? Oh my god. It was the goal they took away. So it was
3-2, I think. Wasn't it?
3-2. Yeah, you're right. And now it's 5-5 and like
it's fucking back.
A lot of those have been in the last couple minutes.
Yeah, all of them in the last couple minutes. But yeah, no, I've been watching a lot of these playoffs this year. I watch these playoffs every year. This is best time in sports is NHL playoff time, and then it's accompanied by also the NBA playoffs. But I feel like the NBA playoffs just aren't the same because the NBA just doesn't have the same kind of like the parity is too big in the NBA, in my opinion. It's too big.
Mm-hmm.
You just know who are the top teams, and those are the teams that are going to be like. It doesn't get interesting till about probably the second round in the NBA. That's when it actually starts getting interesting.
Hey, the Knicks made it to the second round this year. Who saw that coming?
And the Bucks are out, so that's always fun too. So like, but the NHL. So when watching the NHL every night on my channel, I've been doing NHL highlights, and so I'm getting people from like UK and stuff like that. They're excited to watch NHL highlights now as well, and just like get more into the NHL. So it's just like I'm just trying to get more people to watch some hockey because hockey is just fun to watch. It's just fun to watch.
That's the most Canadian thing I think I've ever seen you do.
And it's one of the the crazy thing is
fun to watch.
It's one of the craziest playoffs this year because every series except for one has been really, really close. And it usually somehow always ends up this way, but it's always at the beginning of the playoffs. It's like Boston is gonna sweep this team. Like they're the best team in hockey. They have the record for the most wins. They got the record for the most points. They got the most record for like most home wins. They got so many records this year. And now we're in game 6.
Bulls.
Exactly.
Okay.
But like they're in game 5 right now, or game 6, and they could be going to game 7 against Florida, who is the bottom seed of the Eastern Conference.
They were wild cards.
Yeah, a wild card team.
That's crazy.
But, yeah.
Why hockey? What makes you love hockey? What is the draw to hockey that makes you want to come back every single season to see what's going on? Mario, put on the Canadian national anthem when Harv talks about it.
But I've mentioned this multiple times. I've tried to get into hockey like multiple times throughout my life, and it just never stuck. We'll see if it sticks this time. But the first like day I like sat down to actually follow like hockey-ish this season or whatever was the day that every single team played. There like literally every single team played on a Saturday. And so I was just like hopping around back and forth between like whatever games we're on. And it's just I don't know, something about it is just so fun. And like I like sports, I enjoy sports, right? I'm a big basketball fan. And there's just something so fun. Like I know hardly anything about the rules of hockey. I can follow because I know how to follow like a sports match, right? And just like the process of learning and getting invested in and being excited about a new sport is not like a process I've gone through in a really long time, and it's just so fun to get excited about, like, I don't know, sports, man.
I could understand that only in broad terms, and the only broad terms I'm referring to is whenever I watch the Mighty Ducks movies.
Of course, you bring it to the fucking Mighty Ducks.
The Mighty Ducks.
They don't do the flying V in this.
They can't do the flying V. But man, I remember watching the end of the first one. It's like quack, quack, quack. Let's go. Hit that slap shot, baby. So if it's anything like that, even if it doesn't have the flying V, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
I mean, yeah.
Harv, you're so right about, like, I mean, I'm following the men BA, right? But like you said, there's so many teams, there's so many people going on. You have your couple strong forces. It's not going to get exciting until the next round, right?
Yeah, it's when those teams start facing each other.
Yeah, this is exciting now.
Yeah, because like every team, because like in the NHL, you can't have super teams. You can't have super teams in the NHL, and Florida just scored. Yeah, yeah, they just scored. So it's now 6-5.
6-5 game, baby.
5.5 minutes left. Yeah, because
Jesus.
in hockey, you have a salary cap, and you can't go over the salary cap.
Well, every
healthcare.
sports franchise has salary caps, but comparatively, hockey's salary cap is tiny.
Yeah, it's like I think it's like
It's
130
so
million or
small.
something like that. And it's like, but the thing is, in the NBA, you can go over the salary cap as long as you pay the luxury tax. So your team gets taxed.
You can get
for how long
fined.
you're. Yeah, in hockey, you can't go over it no matter what. There's no luxury tax. You just can't go over it. So you have players that you have to like Seattle Kraken are the prime example of this. They have
Frank
really
don't. Frank don't. Oh, okay.
They
Sorry.
really they really don't have a superstar, but they have so much secondary scoring that it's insane. It's insane that they don't have like a star player or anything, but they're doing it by committee, and that's what hockey is. It's doing it by
Wayne
committee.
Gretzky?
No, they don't have anything. Anybody?
How much do you think Wayne Gretzky would make if he was like an NBA player, like in comparison?
Oh, he would
of
make
his legacy.
Honestly,
in comparison.
He would if he had the same skills in the NBA. He would make like, because hockey players are paid the least out of every major sports,
Which is
because there's
wild.
a salary cap. Yeah, because it is a salary cap sport.
Yeah.
So like the most, I think the biggest contract that anybody got was like, I think it was like 88 million over 7 years or something like that.
Shit.
So
Really?
like that's like what, maybe 8 mil a year or something.
Yeah, that's a contract for like
Ish.
one NBA player, like on the low end, isn't it?
On like the medium end, that's how much players make, right? So
Yeah.
like you put that into perspective, like they just don't get paid as much in the NHL.
That's wild to think about.
Shout out to Wayne Gretzky, by the way. What a fucking legend.
Yeah, man. You don't. What is the Wayne Gretzky quote? And it's like you hit the puck, you go for the puck for not where it's going, but where it's gonna be. Is that the quote? I think that's the quote. I think I nailed it.
I have no clue.
I learned that from Kevin Smith. That's why I know that quote.
Yeah, it's like you don't want to go where the puck is. You want to go where the puck is going to go.
Be. Yeah. See.
Where the puck is going, not where the puck is going is at.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, hockey is fun, and it's fun because like in the streams, I usually have people asking questions about hockey, and there's like 2 or 3 of us in chat, or like 2 or 3 of my friends in chat that are just like we're just talking about like how the rules work and stuff like that, and what the game, like how people play the game, and like what offside is.
At some point, I will get over myself and actually ask you all of the rules questions I have, but we haven't gotten to that point yet. I'm just white knuckling through.
But you know what?
Do I understand how line chasers work? Not at all.
Line chasers,
but I'm not going to look it up.
Don't need to worry about line chasers. Don't worry about those.
I have so many questions.
But the one thing I will say, once you get invested in like what a penalty is, this league is going to infuriate you because half the time the refs won't even call a fucking penalty.
Oh yeah.
Like this guy gets slashed. Like this is like a fucking stick, a composite stick getting slashed in the hands where you could break somebody's bones. No penalty. You know what? Let him play. It's fine. Just let him play. Like what?
Put some Vicks on it. You're good.
One dude nearly flipped another dude. Nothing.
Yeah,
all right.
nothing,
Okay.
Nothing. All right. You know, let him play. Let him play.
Just the boys of horse playing.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like
Canadian Irish.
These fucking guys can get away with murder. They're like, let him play. Let him play.
All right.
Jeez.
Well, there you go. The NHL, the only sport you can get away with murder.
In the playoffs.
Actually, WWE too, right? Has anybody been murdered in the WWE?
I mean, technically, yes.
Yeah,
Owen
Hart
Man.
did die falling to his death. That was the thing.
I also want to, before we divert from sports, I do want to say shout out to the Dub starting preseason. What, little over a week?
Okay.
I think the Storm's first game is the 9th. Question mark? I don't know. I'm a bad fan. But yeah, very excited. I like I said, I like the men BA, but I'm much more invested in the Dubs. So very excited for them to come back this summer. It's gonna be a season. Great people.
Sly is gonna
they
be
took
stressed
a
out
lot
for
of
the
great
next 4
people.
minutes.
I'm gonna be stressed for the next months. Sports, man.
I thought this was like a relaxing pastime, but I guess not.
Oh, dude, it is okay. It's not. This is the complete opposite. Cirque, okay, let's go back to 2011. Okay.
We're going back to 2011.
Vancouver Canucks in the finals.
The Canucks. Mario, fucking put on the national anthem as he's speaking right now.
Hold on. It's on actually.
Vancouver Canucks versus the Boston Bruins, 2011 finals. All my friends, Canucks fans. So we got together. We even called, like, half of us called out work just to watch these games. The amount of tension in that room in every single game, you literally could cut it with a knife. It's so like you could hear like a pin dropping. That's how much tension there was in the room when these games are being played.
Gotcha.
And it got to the point where like the last game they lost, I think 4-0. And a couple of our friends, they got physically mad that their team lost because it's just one of those things, man. Sports it's an interesting thing.
I mean, I've been physically ill for the past 2 games.
Oh man. Yeah. So
oh man.
The only time the Vancouver Canucks ever got close to, well, actually, they got close in '94, but that really doesn't matter. But
close in '94.
The farthest I know back is like the 2014 draft class, and all of my knowledge of any people in this fucking league has been purely through fan fiction. Thank you very much.
Wow. All right. Well, on that note, we're gonna go ahead and transition away from sports. Let's see here. In terms of what we've been watching, before we get to the big topic of what we've been watching, I'll go ahead and bring up what I've been seeing on the Peacocks, because it's on the Peacock Network, as well as on CNBC. I think is where you can actually find this show on Tuesdays or Sundays or some shit. It doesn't matter. The show is called Leguizamo Does America. If you don't know who Leguizamo is, watch a little classic called The Pest, Spawn, Romeo and Juliet.
Man has a repertoire.
I'm gonna say Romeo and Juliet, right?
Romeo and Juliet. He was in Tu Wong Fu, Letters to Dear Julie Newmar. It's a great movie. He was also in John Wick 1 and 2. Okay. Oh, and Super Mario Brothers. He was Luigi in Super Mario Brothers.
Oh yeah, the older one, yeah.
The original Super Mario Brothers. Yeah. I am a massive fan of John Leguizamo. I grew up watching all those movies. I grew up watching him, his stand-up. I'm absolutely, if I ever get to meet that man, I will lose my goddamn mind. I would love to interview him one day. But he's just, just an amazing comedian. And he's doing a show called Lozano Does America, where essentially he just goes to different cities and talks about Latin culture and different aspects of that culture in that city. The first 2 episodes that I have seen were New York and Miami. Eventually they'll go to Chicago, probably Texas, and some other places. And it's definitely just talking about what the flavors are of those specific areas, the music that comes from there, the hip hop influences, how much both hip hop is both in Black culture, but also Latin culture helped also with that as well, specifically in the Brooklyn area. Talking all the way to the foods, the sights and sounds, Broadway. What does it mean to be a fashion designer? Latinx as a concept. They have a whole section where they have a round table with like celebrities and talk about what does this mean for Latin culture of going both, with being traditionally a masculine, feminine language, and then introducing this concept of Latinx, so that way it's more inclusive for all. And they have actually the funniest thing, Frank, and you'll laugh your ass off on this. During that conversation, Fat Joe was sitting at the table eating food.
What the fuck is Fat Joe there?
No,
I haven't heard of that name in a long time.
So they actually play Big Pun in the show too because of his influence in New York culture, and so Fat Joe was there as a representative of hip hop.
Fat Joe, hell yeah.
And
I guess so. Yeah, I guess he would be a representative, wouldn't he? He would represent the Latin hip hop.
Exactly, which was awesome. And so they had like a roundtable of just people from like Spanish people that work in the restaurant industry, people that work obviously in music, and then this upcoming episode I think is going to have like George Lopez on it and some other people. But yeah, it's essentially just breaking down the different culture divide, going by, like, for instance, when they went to Florida, when they went to Miami, they talked about how it's very much a conservative area within the Cuban community because they came from Cuba, which obviously was a fascist dictatorship. They're very anti-fascist, they're very anti-socialist. And so it's definitely shows of like what was the trend within the last year, because when Obama went down to Miami, they were all about Obama. But then when Trump was around versus Hillary, they all basically flipped and it went straight, red state. And their summarization was that Hillary didn't go to Miami. Hillary didn't go to talk to these people. Obama did. And so they're basically saying, like, is a possibility to have this switch back the opposite direction with this upcoming election. So definitely curious.
I mean, you see that a lot with just like the general idea of like the concept of the South, right? Being like uneducated and like Republican, like cannot be changed and always like talked down to. And then when you look at the way like people who are like more left and think they're better than everybody because of that talks to people from that area regardless, like no wonder they're not going to be agreeing with you. You're treating them like they're idiots. Like if you're not even going to bother engaging with people, how can you expect them to support you?
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
It just leads to the culture of like people thinking that people are too scared to talk to X amount of group, right?
Yeah. And
right.
And it definitely contributes to it. And I feel like when it comes to the way that they were at least talking about in the documentary, it definitely, there is some hope there, but they have to come with a conceit that some of the ideas that they came from, where they ran from Cuba, scares them. And so you have to be able to speak to that audience. And so I think that was a really great way of how on that episode they really brought that up, how they brought the Latinx in the New York episode. And I'm curious how they're going to go about it, obviously, with the next couple episodes. I think it's only like a 6-episode series. I'm having fun watching it. I don't watch shows like this. I don't watch learning shows. It sounds so stupid. I don't have time to watch, like History Channel and all that shit.
Are you talking about educational shows?
Educational shows.
Educational content.
Educational shows.
And because I like
Mario's anti-education, you heard it here first.
That's right. I run my platform on anti-education. I'm not gonna go. I was gonna say some shit. I'm not gonna say that. But yeah.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
No,
don't say that.
No, I won't. But John Leguizamo, he is a left-leaning person. I follow him on Twitter. He was hosting, obviously, the Daily Show for I think a week, and no, I just love him as a dude. I'm really happy I get to watch a show with him in it. He's like a comfort. He's like a comfort food from my childhood, and so to see him do this is kind of cool because I'm enjoying it for him, but I'm also enjoying it for the content that he's sharing. So wanted to bring that up. If you want to watch that, that is in Peacock. Yeah, it's on Peacock. If you want,
I wish it was literally anywhere else.
I know. If you, I guess you could watch it on MSNBC or some bullshit.
MSNBC.
That's where it is.
Okay.
But it's on Peacock.
Is? Oh,
yeah.
oh.
Peacock owns NBC, so that's why.
Got it.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. So that was that, and now we're gonna go ahead and talk about one of our main conversation topics. This is gonna be mostly a me and Frank thing. I'm gonna have Frank start us off. Frank, we're gonna talk about Evil Dead Rise while you blow people up with a rocket.
Yeah, Evil Dead Rise, man. What a fucking movie. Me and Mario are gonna come at this at two different angles here, just because so I am 100% a Evil Dead fan, but I am a big fan of like Evil Dead when it's like Ash and like Ash versus Deadites, right?
Yeah. So
I very much have not seen the remake movie that doesn't involve Ash in any kind of way possible, right? Because it just isn't my thing, right? I feel like Evil Dead, and even after watching Evil Dead Rise, spoiler alert, I still feel like it needs a central protagonist to really kind of shine. But Mario's right, man. Bruce Campbell's getting kind of old. Bruce Campbell, he kind of just wants to take a seat back from it. Maybe he doesn't want to be Ash forever, right? Got to respect the wishes of the man himself. And so then in that respect, I decided, hey, you know what? Let's go see what Evil Dead looks like without Ash in it. All right, let's go see what it looks like without my favorite parts in it. And you know what? It's not bad. It's not bad at all, actually. That's a pretty goddamn great movie. There's a lot of love for Evil Dead, like classic movies in that movie. There's a lot of nice little nods to those movies, and you know what? I still believe there needs to be a main protagonist. Maybe we'll see that throughout all these remakes, but you know what? This movie kind of proved to me that it can live without Ash for a little bit. But Mario, like I want to hear from your perspective too, because you watch both movies, and you've been trying to convince me to watch remake movie for a good little bit now.
Yeah, I think that 2013's Evil Dead, the reboot, if you will, I think it does a lot of great things with the concept of bringing it back to the original Evil Dead movie, which has some silly moments in it, but a lot of that silliness is now coming from the era in which it was made and the campiness of it in terms of the design and stuff like that. But it was really meant to be just like a real terrifying experience, and they do succeed in the Evil Dead 2013. It's more visceral, it's more grittier in terms of just the design of the world, in terms of the camera lens of it, but still keeps it and retains elements of all the Evil Dead stuff that you've all known, adding in that extra grit to it. That being said, the movie is still hilarious if you watch 2013 as well. There's some really funny bits. And then transitioning to Evil Dead Rise, just taking the concept completely away from the cabin, and now we're in this high-rise residential building. How much could they, connect to those similar elements, but be in this such it's an even more confined space than, say, like, a forest, where theoretically you would think they could just leave, but they do find ways to work around that, where they're like, nope, you are fucking trapped and you're going to be dealing with this all night. And they do a great job with that specific elements of it. I really, really enjoyed Evil Dead Rise. It definitely has some of the most visceral kills. Not the most, I would say. How can I describe this, Frank? And not necessarily there were kills in the other movies. They mostly just the slow, like,
dying of the characters.
Yeah, the slow, like, the consumption of the characters being taken over by the Deadites. That happens in this movie, and it happens quite a bit. But I think that the actual, like, visceral, like, what happens to the individual characters is really fucked up, and especially certain things. I mean, obviously everybody knows that the emoji for this movie is the fucking cheese grater. There's a lot with glass that I'm not a fan of.
That I didn't know. There's a lot. They play a lot with glass in the movie, and you know what? Chief.
Yeah,
but you're right. It's more like the slow torture of characters before they finally succumb to it, right?
Yes.
And then become a full Deadite. I gotta blow this up, don't I?
Yeah, go ahead.
We love some light torture.
Yeah, and the thing is though, is like when we see it in those other movies, it's like characters that are teenagers, right? They're goofy teenagers, or they're just people that are in this world. This is a family unit. It's a mom, her sister, and 4 kids, right? And other instances. And for them to have you meet every character and get to know them a little bit, what they're about, and then slowly, possibly rip some of them away is definitely very hard to watch.
It's very ballsy too.
It's very ballsy,
for a lot of,
to be honest with you.
Like, because Deadites in this universe have no remorse. Like there is no like
fucked.
they'll do and say anything to give you fear and make you like uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
Like they'll trauma dump you a little bit and make you feel very bad. So like to see that in a family setting, ooh.
Yeah,
It's
who
deadly.
knows the most like fucked up secrets about each other than your family, and to have them constantly throw that in their faces is definitely, it adds to that like, oh, this is heart-wrenching because these are people that they love, but they're trying to fucking murder them, and then, you know, you gotta dismember and do all this crazy shit. Like they put you to the paces for 90 plus minutes, which is great. We love a tight 90. And I think they do a great job of, exactly. I think they do a great job of also expanding the universe in terms of like why this exists and why even 2013 exists and why it connects to the other movies too.
Yeah, because it's pretty common knowledge now if you follow like the series that there is more than one Necronomicon now.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like there's Ash's Necronomicon, there's the Necronomicon from the 2013 movie, and now this is introducing a totally different one altogether.
Yes. Which, if you connect it back to Army of Darkness, there were 3 books in that movie too. Originally, we just thought they were traps, but now, if you kind of just read between the lines, they all somewhat are connected to each other, which is really cool. I really like how they are able to bridge that gap between the universes, or the different movies. And every movie's sort of been a remake of itself in a lot of ways. So it's really good that they found a way to sort of like explain that in a way that I think really does a good job. Yeah,
nice. It looks scary as fuck.
Yeah.
Just because like how they talk and stuff like that. So it's kind of neat. It looks kind of neat.
Yeah, it definitely has its jump scare moments. Very horrific in terms of like. By the way, shout out to the effects team on that movie. Like I know there is a good little bit maybe that might be CGI'd, but there's a lot of practical shit there that looks fucking amazing. The makeup on like the main Deadite woman is like amazing.
Chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss. Good job.
She, I don't know this woman. I've never seen her in anything else. She just looks amazing. Like, even as a Deadite, I was like, you look crazy. You look insane. The way you could contort your face. I couldn't tell. There were moments where I couldn't tell if she was contorting her face just via the makeup or if it was a CGI element, because it was that, like, the way that she bulged her eyes out in certain parts. Like, every single person was into what they were doing. And it shows, specifically even, like, the other character in the movie that, is really cool. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to spoil this movie. I think it's fun. Just go check it out. Eventually this will hit.
Does Bruce Campbell ever come into the movie, or is he just not?
I can say yes.
He has a cameo.
He has a cameo.
He has a cameo in everything.
Good.
But
that's good.
I won't say that you'll see him, but you might hear him.
He's not on screen. Yeah,
you might hear him.
I was waiting I was telling Mario because right before that scene, they pay homage to Evil Dead 2. And I was telling him, like, oh, dude, that's crazy they did that. And then there's a cameo, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So definitely check this movie out if you are an Evil Dead fan, or if you. I know that Fee is notoriously said that they are not an Evil Dead person, but I think that this one would be the one that they would enjoy the most because it removes the one element they hate.
The irony of that statement, though, because you know about Fee and babies.
You know.
This game does have some
He has
birth and
strong
stuff in it
feelings.
about horror movies and birthing, and this movie is called the
That's
Mother
right.
movie for a reason. You know what I mean?
That's right. I forgot about that. Well, you'll see. You're just gonna have to see. But yeah. Anything else you want to say, Frank, before we moving on?
I think see, the problem is the things I really like about it in terms of the future of the franchise of Evil Dead, and even in terms of like the way people like talk about this movie, they're like, oh yeah, it's totally different. And after watching it, I'm like, is it? Because I told you in the car on the ride home, I'm like, it doesn't really like have a big difference there when you think about it this way, do you? And you're like, yeah, no, because it's still Evil Dead by the end of it, right?
Yeah.
But I can't reveal that without spoiling it. So watch the movie and then DM me and I'll explain what I'm talking about that. All right. That's your homework. Go watch the movie and I'll explain how this is not different from Evil Dead, because in the whole grand scheme of the movie, it's just Evil Dead anyway.
Yeah. There's trees in Evil Dead. This has a tree moment. Not as gruesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, it still does tree stuff. But yeah, definitely check it out. Go to the movie theaters. Eventually it'll be on DVD, and I can't wait to own it. Frank, me and you, maybe it's a group Discord thing where we all watch Evil Dead, because I own it digitally, so we could all.
Yeah, we can watch Evil Dead 2013. After watching that movie, I'd like to go back and see it. Like, at least.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I know I don't like those type of movies like without Ash, but you know what? I think we could live without Ash for a little bit.
Yeah, I think you'll end
At least
up
until Bruce
liking it.
Campbell caves.
until he caves, puts on the.
Until he runs out of money, and then he's like, you know what?
The thing is, Frank, though, the closer
we do one more.
we put the suit back on him, eventually he's gonna fucking die. Like that.
I know.
That has to be his ending.
Yeah, it has to be. But I want a definitive ending for our boy, not the cliffhanger ending that we have currently for him.
Sure, fair enough. Okay. All right. Well, that, of course, was Evil Dead Rise. We're going to move on to some of our last sections here. Sly, you've been reading something. Tell me, is this book just as sexy as the show apparently is? I want to know. What's going on? What's going on with that?
Arguably more sexy.
Ooh.
Okay, so I'm going through Bridgerton stuff we'll throw the after party this week. We're doing a little special because Queen Charlotte's coming out soon. And I had not engaged with Bridgerton at all. And I know everybody's like, dude, it's Regency. You would love it. I don't know. I haven't gotten around to it. Where I'm at currently, I have watched season 1. I read book 1, and I'm currently working on season 2. We'll see if I get to book 2. But yeah, reading book 1, it was really interesting because like the show's not really my vibe. And the book seems to be a little bit more my speed. So that's been fun getting to see. I really love looking at like different takes on a story and what they adapt for what media.
Yeah.
And so that's been really interesting to look at. And yeah, I don't know, it's smutty Regency era romance. I don't know what to tell you about it. But yeah, I'll have hopefully more thoughts tomorrow.
Okay.
What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say, like, what is like kind of your biggest draw to it, right? Like you said, Regency era. What would Regency era be?
Regency era is a very okay. People talk about the Regency era as a pretty wide scope. It was only about like 10 or so years. It was after King George the Third. I don't know. The Georgian era happened. We had that king. He died. His like the prince or whatever became the regent for like a couple of years or what. And then we had Victoria. We had the Victorian era. So it's a very limited window in time, and it's a really interesting like political time point because there's a lot of big like cultural shifts in like what is like considered like acceptable society, etc. And there's a lot of really interesting class commentary from literature at that time and literature reflecting on that time. And so there's just like a lot of layers and a lot of interesting context happening at the same time. And obviously I love Austen. Like, I'm a huge Austen fan. I've read a lot of Austen, and so I really enjoy like works from that time period. But it's also really fun to see a project like Bridgerton, which includes, at least the show, includes some like very purposefully anachronistic elements to more modernize the story and how they play with like what is obviously of our time and what is an homage to that time period. It's just really interesting to look at the cultural differences for me.
Oh yeah, that's definitely really cool. Just to see like how things were different from like that period to like now, and like, how things have changed,
and how many things are so similar, and like how so many of the same struggles we see repeat again and again and again.
Well, you know what they say: the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Exactly. And then the other thing I did reading wise this week, I finally caved and got a webtoon account. So this is me fishing for recommendations. If anybody has read anything on webtoons that they particularly loved, I obviously read Heartstopper. Redhead Outlaws is on my list, but if anybody has any recommendations from our lovely audience, please feel free to DM me anywhere. And yeah.
Okay. I'm going to have you continue talking. We're going to go ahead and move on to what we've been listening to. And then tell me about Stardust. What is Stardust?
So much movie. For Stardust. It's the new Fall Out Boy album.
Oh, that's
and
right.
I realized that I don't think I've talked about it on here. It is the new Fall Out Boy
Mario, you're
album.
lacking, bro. Wait, what?
I actually have still not listened.
How did you get put on before Mario on
Have you not listened?
I still have not listened to the whole album.
I felt like I was late because I waited like a week to listen to it.
There's a reason, because of the band that I'm going to talk about is the reason why I have not. And I'll tell you.
Okay.
That's fair.
I think you told me about it the other day, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It dropped in February. I don't know how I haven't talked about it yet. But it's good. It's interesting. It's definitely a different take. I wasn't a huge fan of Mania. So, you know, it's a little bit more of a return to the kind of stuff from them that I enjoy. Everybody has their favorite Fall Out Boy eras. Like,
Under the Cork Tree and the Blue album is mine.
Yeah, so my like intro to like Fall Out Boy as like a fandom element of it was Save Rock and Roll. So that album, I know like the back of my hand, has a very dear place in my heart. But I really love Take This to Your Grave as well.
Take This to Your Grave is my
just
favorite
like
album.
The vibe of it.
Yeah,
it's incredible. It's so good.
So much.
I listened to a lot of
very Chicago, by the way.
Believers Never Die, so like a little bit of mix of all their hits and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Stardust, it's so good. If you haven't listened to it, I'm not gonna say anything too detailed about any of it. I just really enjoy the different way they play with the medium. And I have a hot take. Maybe, I don't know if this is a hot take.
Drop your hot take. What's the hottest take you got about this album?
Okay. My hot take is I think Fake Out, which is the song off of Stardust, is kind of a spiritual successor to, oh god, what's it called? I can't believe I'm blanking on this name live on air. That's embarrassing. The Last of the Real Ones.
Got it.
I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but I feel like Fake Out is the spiritual successor to Last of the Real Ones. I think that's a really interesting narrative through line.
Okay.
But yeah, it's fun. It's great. It's Fall Out Boy. And I am just as insufferable about Fall Out Boy in 2023 as I was in 2013. So, you know, some things stay the same.
Oh, Lord. I'm going to tell a quick story. Back in my day, 2005, on the Nintendo Fusion Tour, which was the tour they had the Wii, and they were showing off Twilight Princess, so that's how fucking old I am. I saw a band and it was because I went to the tour. It was because Fall Out Boy was there. But the band that I saw before them was a really like new band. They weren't even like popular at the time. They were kind of shitty sounding. Anyways, got a picture, took a picture of the girl I was dating at the time with them, and they like signed my like Mario sticker. I saw Fall Out Boy. They were fantastic. Petey Wentz used to jump in the crowd. I grabbed his crotch by accident. It was fantastic.
I was about to say, grabbed his Crocs.
Cock like this.
Happens.
Yep.
Just
Popped
happens. And I've seen the photo since, and I'm impressed. But anyways, month or two later, a song comes out. I watched this music video. And the music video had a wedding, right? And it was the band from that I saw that night that was shitty. And little did I know that band was Panic at the Disco.
Oh shit!
And so I got to see Panic at the Disco before they were popped off, and they were fucking terrible. Now they were good, I guess. I know there's some lore, but Panic at the Disco these days. But I wanted to at least bring up that I grabbed Pete Wentz's cock and I just met Panic at the Disco. Anyways, moving on.
If anybody wants to know what the verbal reaction that I definitely thought I was muted for, it was the Avs goal getting overturned.
I figured that was what it was. It was perfect timing to be meeting Panic at the Disco. We're going to go ahead and move on to what I've been listening to. And I've been listening to actually a lot of music lately. I'm actually going to start with Vision Video on this. Vision Video, if you don't know, is a goth band primarily known because of their lead singer is Goth Dad from TikTok. He's, of course, this former, I think he's a current firefighter, former military guy who dresses up in goth makeup, very feminine goth makeup. He has a band that sounds very much like old school Cure and Depeche Mode, and very much like that new wavy goth feel. So if you are into that, it's cool to see a modern band do that same style, but in a different way. I actually saw them live last month. I actually didn't talk about that. So I actually got to see them. I actually got to talk to the lead singer. He was there at the venue. Just got to say hello, told him he's very positive on TikTok. He actually has a TikTok about teaching new trans people how to shave their beards. Just his whole presentation is that he's a very helpful dad. Like, he's just a dad that wants to take care of you, but just so happens to look like Susie and the Banshees, which is awesome. Or the Crow. So yeah, really love it. I bought the vinyl. I got the vinyl back there too. Very great music. I recommend it. They have some really good melancholy songs. So if you're into that vibe, definitely check out Vision Video. On the same trend there, because TikTok is a lot of the reason why a lot of the music that I listen to these days comes from TikTok. There was a TikTok that I saw that was like showing someone as like the blueprint for something. And it was this person here, the lead singer of a band called Bucktick, which is actually a Japanese new wave goth band that I did not know exists until this fucking TikTok. And he is the absolute blueprint for every anime fucking like the dude with like the cool like Trigun, that like red jacket and the fucking white thing. He had that in the 80s. And Trigun basically cribbed that style. Vincent Valentine from fucking Final Fantasy VII, just this fucking dude. He's literally looks just like this guy. One of the Naruto dudes with the like weird tongue, just him.
What the fuck?
I'll show you the TikTok. I'll send you all the TikTok so you can see what I'm talking about. Literally, it's just this guy. He looks incredible. And so I was like, okay, let's listen to the music. And the music is fantastic. The beat is on par with any Cure album. Obviously it's in Japanese, so I'm not necessarily understanding the lyrics, but just the tone and what they're going for is such a fucking vibe. And then I've been just enjoying listening to that in the background while I'm working on stuff. So if you want like a moody goth Japanese, like just a mellow band, definitely check out Bucktick. It's such an interesting name. I'm not sure what it's about, but I've looked it up and I definitely recommend that as well. The last thing I want to bring up is the reason why I haven't been paying attention to a lot of music lately is because my partner introduced me to the band Ghost. I brought this up previously. I'm now caught up on listening to all their albums, and so now I see the trajectory of what all the different scope that this band is, and I love this band.
This is the one that replaces the main person.
There's
or
lore. There's lore to this band, and the lore to the band, of course, is that it is this. He's called Papa. Well, I'm just gonna say Papa the First. And essentially, Papa is the lead singer of the band. He puts on that sort of like gothy makeup, who looks like a skeleton, but really, it's actually a guy in a mask. But every Papa is just a different mask that is a different person, played by the same person named Tobias Forge. And essentially, the tone of the band is that they are a pro Satan band in the same way of like people are pro Jesus. But it's
hell yeah.
But it's all in sense of fun of like taking church too seriously, and that's basically like they are, where it's very similar in that same vein. And the reason why I want to talk about today is because they just released a new EP, or they're going to be releasing a new EP album. They just released their track. The build up to this, the reason why Ghost is interesting is because every new Papa gets killed off, and there's a new person that takes over and does the album, and so. To the lead up to Easter, there has always been this sound of like, what was it? It was always talking about Jesus, which was leading into obviously Easter, and we all don't know what the fuck it means, and obviously that was like resurrection. We're kind of lured out like what's going on, but what we were afraid was we were going to lose our current Papa, which is Papa the Fourth, who's been there for the last two albums. They've like slowed down on killing them, and so we were like, we like this. We like this version.
An old one?
Huh? No.
I thought they would resurrect.
That's what we thought they were gonna do, because they end up. So the way they do it too, which is crazy, is that they actually kill their Papas live on stage, and they like.
Jeez.
There's no footage of it unless a fan recorded it. And then you don't know about it until the next album that this is the new Papa or something like that. I'll definitely get yelled at by my partner it lets me know all the lore stuff. But the reason why I want to talk about it is because it actually led to the fact that they're doing a EP, which is another set of cover songs. And the Jesus reference was they were doing Genesis is Jesus Knows Me, which is a song about televangelists that fucking use Jesus as sort of their like catch-all of like, oh, I can nothing I do is wrong. I have Jesus on my side. He knows all about me, even though I fucking take your money. I cheat on my wife. She doesn't know about my girlfriend or the man I slept with. Like literally, those are lyrics in the song, and it's just this fucking awesome like metal version of it that is super fast, super quick. It's just so great. They have a Donna Summer song on the album that I haven't heard yet. That's not out yet. That I can't wait to check out. But the lore was the lore this week when they came out was there's this new character, and he's this priest, and the music video is all about how this priest like goes from doing a sermon to like doing coke and like fucking strippers, and like it ends with like a football team jerking off, and then he like uses the thing to like do his hair. It's weird. It's a fucking weird video.
What the fuck?
I'm telling you, they're so in on the joke of how silly and ridiculous they are that it makes it fun. It's very much like Spenguli or Danhausen, like the wrestler, and just like amps it up to the degree. And the music's great. It goes from being like heavy Metallica to like Bon Jovi to like 60s psychedelic to like all the way up to like choir stuff. Like it's hilarious. It's just the way that they do it. They have like a jazz solo in the middle of one of their fucking like metal songs. I can't recommend this band enough. You can start with the beginning of their last album, which is called Imperia, and work your way backwards, because I think that's their newest sound. I agree with my partner saying that you should start with the current stuff, because it's more of the more like popular, more like Bon Jovi sound, and then you work your way back, and then you're going into Motorhead, and then you're going into like Metallica as you go backwards. And I think that they are so just if you're in on the joke and having a great time with just how goofy the sound is, it's a blast. So I wanted to talk about Ghost just because they came back up with their new album or EP that's coming out soon. I'm very excited about it. It's called Fan of Mine. So I wanted to bring that up. I've been like putting it in our doc and then taking it out, putting it in our doc, taking it out for the last couple of weeks. But since we had kind of a short episode this week, I wanted to actually bring it up. So that has been what we've been listening to. And I think we're basically at the end of the show. We're actually going to have a real tight 90 of a podcast today.
Oh, yeah. Tight 90.
We love a tight 90.
We love a tight 90.
Evil Dead.
I feel
Also,
like
another
that
tight
needs to
90
be
movie.
A shot. Every time I say we love a tight 90, somebody takes a shot.
God damn. But we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'm going to go ahead and have everyone give their final shout out. Harv, while you're stretching, get that stretch in there. Where can people find you?
You can find me pretty much everywhere. Beard in the Hair, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok. Yeah, everywhere. What was it? What other one that am I thinking of?
Blue Sky?
Twitter.
And Blue Sky yet?
Blue Sky, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the new one, I guess. I don't know.
I'm on Blue Sky.
But yeah, you can find me there. I am going to be putting out a Jedi review at some point this week, or next week. So yeah.
All right. Fantastic. Frank, where can people find you in the Mines of Moria right now?
You can find me here at Point Progress, where I'll be continuing to play Resident Evil 4 right now.
Frank, you can just shoot. You can just shoot that shit. Just shoot it.
Can I?
Just shoot
Can
it.
you rocket it?
Can you
Yeah, you can rocket it. Yeah, you can just rocket
Oh, I
it.
didn't know
No
you could.
fucking way. Oh, look at that.
Oh shit, it's gonna kill me though. God damn it, Harv.
I mean, you know that
blame
that
you.
You
shit.
knew that was
You
going
know
blame
that
you.
shit's coming. You know that
I
shit's coming
blame
down.
you. That was a deathless run, and you just ruined it. I would, if I went my way, I would have just been fine. How dare you, Harv?
I'm just saying.
How dare you? How dare you? You can find me here at Point in Progress, where I play. I'm going to continue to play Resident Evil after the podcast, not live, but in my own soul. And you can find me at TikTok at the Frank GV. My latest video somehow hit 12K views, and it's super exciting.
Super exciting.
Follow me there, and then at Twitter at the Frank GV, where does Lewis die? Wait, hold on.
He doesn't die. Don't worry. He's fine.
Okay.
Guy's fucking indestructible, apparently.
I swear
Oh
to
yeah,
God,
I shot him with so many rockets this run.
if you
Yeah,
get
but
to
he
a
does tell you where the bugs are, though. He tells you that.
Does he? I kill him. I usually kill him before he even fucking tells me.
No, he's like, this is where they duck up the bugs.
Frank, I swear to God, if you get to 1,000 followers and Point in Progress, I'm gonna be so fucking mad.
I've gained a few followers from that last video, but I use my TikToks to just drop random dumb videos on there. Sometimes videos I actually edit, but I'll just throw dumb shit on there from all the clips I kind of hoard and stuff like that.
Fair enough.
So finally seeing one of them actually get some decent numbers is pretty nice. Usually gets over 1,000.
Mhm.
This one over 12K, and I'm super happy about that.
Okay. Clearly, you're hitting the algorithm.
Yeah.
All right, Sly, where do people find you?
If you're watching this live, you can check me out on. We'll throw the after party tomorrow night, and you can check me out at the Avengers live table reading on Sunday night. If you're watching this after the fact, keep an eye out for MC University. That'll be posting as per usual. Other than that, you can't find me anywhere. All my accounts will be
Don't even try.
vacant for the foreseeable future. So yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. And then, of course, you can find me at that Mario Rivera. You can find me at Mario Rivera at Blue Sky if you do have a Blue Sky invite. So I actually am the Mario Rivera. I'm not that Mario Rivera. I'm the Mario. I'm Mario Rivera.
Oh.
So I own that shit.
Wow.
If that ever takes off, thank you, Jack from Twitter. But also MC University. It is our baby. We're having just a couple episodes left. This next episode, of course, is Venom, Let There Be Carnage. And we have a special guest, Matt Storm, who is the editor for the Game Informer show. He also does many podcasts, as you will hear. He has a plethora of shows that you can check out that he does with definitely different hosts. And very excited about that. And then after that, we have Morbius. And I'm going to let that be a surprise on who you think that is. If you follow the show long enough, you'll probably understand. Yeah, that
Tom Hardy.
It's Tom Hardy. We got Tom Hardy from Morbius. He said, "Fuck Jared Leto," is what he said.
Oh yeah, it was Jared Leto. That's what that movie talked to. Not Tom Hardy.
No, it's not Tom Hardy.
They're like, why is Tom Hardy on the Morbius episode when he could have been on the Venom one?
Hey man, you don't question it when you have fucking Tom Hardy. You're like, hey, you're in that movie I like. Let's talk about it. And that has been Point in Progress Podcast episode 70. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I want to say thank you to everyone. If you're listening here, if you can, go ahead and give us a follow here on our TikToks, our Snapchat. We don't have Snapchat. We have it fucking on YouTube's, our Instagram, all the platforms. Just all the platforms. We need all the likes. Just let us, please love us. That's all I ask. Please love us. Progress has been a goodbye, everybody.
Later, bye.
Shout out to the member MenBA, as you said.
The MenBA?
MenBA.
The member.
The MenBA.
MenBA.
Yeah, because it's the WNBA.
No, I understand.
And then the MenBA.
No, that is fair.
So fun fact about
If we're
this part.
gendering one, we're gendering both.
Fun fact about this part. The guy in the chainsaw, the cart, you can actually destroy the cart. So you don't have to worry about the chainsaw, dude. It's fun.
Did you know you can get a head start on that chainsaw guy if you shoot the red barrels on the top of the mountain as he's coming down?
Yeah.
So good.
Very nice.
There's so many little details in this game. I just love it.
I want to say thank you guys for here in the chat. It looks like we had a quiet chat this evening, but I know some of you were watching because you're DMing me on Twitter or texting me personally. So I know there's people out there looking. So we're going to go ahead and say goodbye to you and say goodbye to the stream. Thank you for watching. Take care. Goodbye.
Goodbye.